So today I want to speak plainly. In corrections, we talk about line of duty deaths, and we should. But there is another reality to this profession, one that doesn't always get the same recognition: survival. There are men and women in this room who went to work, faced violence, faced fear, faced moments where everything could have gone a different way, and they lived. Sometimes because of training, sometimes because of their partners, sometimes because of timing, and sometimes only by the grace of God. But survival comes with a cost. The physical injuries may heal, but the mental scars, the memories, the replay of that moment, those stay. Today we recognize something that deserves to be said out loud. Survivors are not separate from the fallen. In many ways, they stood in the very same place. The only difference is that they are still here to carry it, and that matters. Because continuing, whether that means coming back to work, putting the uniform back on, or simply finding a way forward after everything you've been through, that is courage, that is strength, and that deserves to be honored. It is now my honor to recognize our survivors of serious assaults. As each name is called, we ask that the survivor and their escort make their way to the stage to receive this recognition on behalf of the Correctional Peace Officers Foundation. Will the Board of Directors join me? Corrections Case Manager Betty Jo Lindsay, Crossroads Correctional Center, Missouri. On January 2nd, 2025, CCM Betty Lindsay was attacked by an inmate who knocked her to the ground and repeatedly stomped her. Responding staff secured the inmate, and she was transported to the hospital where she underwent surgery and her injuries. Corrections Case Manager Betty Jo Lindsay. Corrections Officer Seth Henry, South Central Correctional Center, Missouri. On January 3rd, 2025, Officer Henry was violently assaulted and struck multiple times in the head and face, leaving him unconscious. He was transported to the hospital and treated for significant injuries requiring staples and stitches to the head. Corrections Officer Seth Henry. Sergeant Christopher Harbuck, Liberty Correctional Institution, Florida. On January 25th, 2025, Sergeant Harbuck responded to an inmate assault involving a prison-made weapon. After administering chemical agents, the inmate charged Sergeant Harbuck and slashed him across the face. He was airlifted for emergency treatment and has since returned to light duty. Sergeant Christopher Harbuck. Corrections Case Manager Dustin Johnson, South Central Correctional Center, Missouri. And he cannot be here with us today, but there's someone accepting it on his behalf. On March 13th, 2025, CCM Dustin Johnson was attacked inside his office when an inmate began stabbing him in the neck and head. He was airlifted to the hospital, placed in a medically induced coma, and later transferred to a rehabilitation facility to continue recovery. Corrections Case Manager Dustin Johnson. Correctional Officer Derek Knapp, Minnesota Correctional Facility, Rush City, Minnesota. On April 10th, 2025, Officer Knapp was attacked during a stand-up verification when an inmate became aggressive and assaulted him. Officer Knapp was transported to the hospital and treated for his injuries. Correctional Officer Derek Knapp. Sergeant Troy Ellis, unfortunately could not be here, and Corrections Officer Stephen Joseph, G. Robert Cotton Correctional Facility, Michigan. Officer Stephen Joseph was assaulted after directing an inmate to return to his cell. Sergeant Ellis responded immediately to render aid, and together they restrained the inmate despite the discovery of an inmate-manufactured weapon used during the assault. Both officers were transported for medical treatment. Sergeant Troy Ellis and Corrections Officer Stephen Joseph. Unit Manager Randy Boyd, Sergeant Ashley McCrae, and Lieutenant Billy Kimberlin, Wallens Ridge State Prison, Virginia. On May 2nd, 2025, Unit Manager Boyd, alongside Sergeant Ashley McCrae and Lieutenant Billy Kimberlin, was attacked by a group of MS-13 gang members. All three staff members suffered multiple stab wounds and were transported for emergency medical treatment. With us today, Unit Manager Randy Boyd. Lieutenant Rachel Spaulding, Eastern Reception Diagnostic and Correctional Center, Missouri. On May 15th, 2025, Lieutenant Spaulding was attempting to remove an inmate hand from the handcuff port when she was stabbed multiple times in the abdomen and arm through the handcuff port. She was transported to the hospital and treated in her injuries. Lieutenant Rachel Spaulding. Correctional Officer 4, Dakota Simber, Ellis Unit, Texas. On June 16th, 2025, Officer Simber was assaulted while attempting to escort an inmate to shower. During the attack, the inmate repeatedly struck him using the tray slot bar before responding staff intervened and transported Officer Simber for medical treatment. Correctional Officer 4, Dakota Simber. Behavioral Health Practitioner Trista McClure, Tecumseh Correctional Institution, Nebraska. On July 9th, 2025, Trista McClure was attacked inside her office after an inmate barricaded the door and assaulted her with a weapon. She fought back until responding staff arrived and was treated for lacerations and blunt force trauma injuries. Behavioral health practitioner Trista McClure. Sergeant Randall Smith, Tiger River Correctional Institution, South Carolina. On August 4th, 2025, Sergeant Smith was assaulted during pill disbursement when an inmate retrieved a pot of scalding water and threw it onto him. Sergeant Smith was transported to the hospital and treated for his injuries. Sergeant Randall Smith. Video Intel Analyst Michaela West, Nebraska State Penitentiary, Nebraska. On August 27th, 2025, Michaela West was attacked from behind by two inmates who repeatedly stomped her on her head and chest, leaving her unconscious. Responding staff regained control of the situation, and she was transported to the hospital and treated for severe injuries, including a fractured C1 and several other fractures. Video and Intel Analyst Michaela West. Captain Troy Ellis, South Dakota State Penitentiary, South Dakota. On October 3rd, 2025, Captain Ellis was assaulted by an inmate, refusing orders, and suffered severe injuries, including broken facial bones, lacerations, and traumatic brain injury. He was transported for emergency medical treatment. Captain Troy Ellis. Correctional Officer Roy Landeros, Correctional Officer Stephen Baradovic, and Correctional Sergeant Mallory Corder, California State Prison, Sacramento, California. On November 1st, 2025, Officer Landeros and Baradovic were conducting a cell search when an inmate on a hunger strike attacked them with an inmate-manufactured weapon. Sergeant Corder responded immediately, rendering life-saving aid to Officer Landeros after locating a severe puncture wound in his femoral artery. Sergeant Corder inserted her finger into the stab wound, helping to stop the bleeding. Sergeant Corder was transported along with Officer Landeros and Baradovic, not removing her finger until at the hospital, and it was safe to do so. Officers Landeros survived near fatal stab wounds, and Officer Baradovic survived severe and lacerated tendons and has not regained feeling in his hand. Correctional Officer Ray Landeros, Correctional Officer Stephen Baradovic, and Correctional Sergeant Mallory Corder. Correction Officer Jacob Utt, LPN Elizabeth Sellers, and K-9 Officer David McLean, River North Correctional Center, Virginia. On November 17, 2025, these staff members were involved in the tragic assault that claimed the life of Master Correction Officer Jeremy Hall, whom we honored during yesterday's memorial ceremony. During the attack, Master Correction Officer Hall made the ultimate sacrifice while protecting those around him, shoving LPN Elizabeth Sellers into a pill cabinet to move her out of harm's way before confronting the attacker himself. In the moments that followed, Correction Officer Jacob Utt and K-9 Officer David McLean rushed toward danger without hesitation, fighting to stop the assault and desperately working to save Officer Hall's life by rendering aid and performing CPR. The physical and emotional impact of that day will never fully fade, but neither will the heroism displayed by these individuals or the sacrifice made by Officer Hall. Today, we are honored to have with us Correction Officer Jacob Utt, LPN Elizabeth Sellers, and K-9 Officer David McLean. Correctional Officer Jasmine Marshall, Telfair State Prison, Georgia. On February 8th, 2026, Officer Marshall was assaulted by an inmate armed with an inmate-manufactured weapon and was struck multiple times before responding staff intervened. She was transported to the hospital for treatment of her injuries. Correctional Officer Jasmine Marshall.